And so I can tell you with a certainty, they must do something terrible in order to stop this backlash and regain the sympathy of the mass herds of sheeple out there.
For amazing video game deals, check out G2A.com, second link in the description. Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Zach Cox, and today we're going to be investigating an assortment of video games that could have predicted the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Centers in September 2001. And if you're a conspiracy theory nut like myself, you're probably going to find the video enjoyable. If you're not a conspiracy theory nut and you don't believe Bush did 9/11, well, hopefully you still find the video enjoyable. And if so, feel free to leave a like rating down below at the end of the video. But with that said, let's go ahead and get started with these games that could have predicted 9/11. Alright, now starting things off with a top-down shooter from 1989 by the name of Master Weapon. This game is your normal top-down shoot-'em-up game where the player controls a spaceship with upgradable weapons, and actually the first level of this game features two skyscraper buildings in a decimated city that eerily resemble the Twin Towers. And what's crazy about this is that these towers can actually be destroyed, and when they get destroyed, the buildings actually pancake to the ground in the same fashion and way that the Twin Towers did in real life. And if that's not enough to convince you that this game from 1989 could have predicted 9/11, well, this next part might, because once you actually start the game, an introduction sequence appears saying that the events of the game take place on September 11th, 1990X. And out of all of the dates that these developers could have chosen for this game to take place, they chose September 11th. And that's what lands this game, once again from 1989, in the #1 spot for this video. Next up, we have a game by the name of Deus Ex that was released in June of 2000. And in one of this game's menu levels, the player is actually able to explore a small area around Liberty Island. And the first thing you're going to notice is that the Statue of Liberty's head has been destroyed and it's no longer on the body of Lady Liberty. As well as being on this island, you actually get to take a look at the New York City skyline. And upon first glance, one of the first things that you're probably going to notice is that the World Trade Centers are actually absent from this New York City skyline. And it makes you wonder, did these game developers predict 9/11? Because this game was released, of course, in June of 2000. Now, we actually have two explanations for the absence of the World Trade Center in the game Deus Ex. And the first one actually is an in-game explanation for the building's absence, and it's basically stated that they were destroyed by terrorists. And this is kind of backed up by the claim that the Statue of Liberty has been destroyed as well. And I believe in-game, the Statue of Liberty was destroyed in 1997, and we can only assume that maybe the Twin Towers were destroyed with them. But the actual reason for the exclusion of the World Trade Center in Deus Ex was due to quote-unquote memory constraints, and this actually comes from the developers of this game. However, this explanation has been tested by actually adding in new textures to the game that feature the World Trade Center along the New York City skyline, and the game ran perfectly fine. There was no memory constraints or anything of that nature, and it makes you wonder, why would these developers remove one of the most prominent, eye-catching set of buildings upon the New York City skyline, opposed to maybe removing some smaller buildings that nobody would really take note of? So, who knows what's going on there? Were these developers getting their Nostradamus on just a year before the attacks on the World Trade Center? We'll most likely never know. Now, last but not least, we have a Flash game by the name of Trade Center Defender that was actually released in early 2001, just a few months prior to the events of 9/11, of course. And the objective of this game was to gun down planes that headed towards the towers that were trying to destroy them, and you just shoot them down before they get to the towers. And if one plane hit the tower, it would catch on fire, and if two planes hit the towers, of course, the tower that was hit, it would actually collapse into itself and pancake to the ground. And if one was destroyed, then you had another chance to protect just the remaining tower. And if both were destroyed, you would just have to restart the game. And what's interesting is you might say, okay, it's Trade Center Defender. It's just two buildings you're protecting from planes hitting, which of course raises some flags there, but actually the file name for this game was WTC.exe, World Trade Center.exe. So that kind of proves that these are the World Trade Centers that we're defending there. So just very creepy stuff going on here. Whether or not these are coincidences or video game developers somehow predicting the future, the world may never know. But if you guys did find the video enjoyable and learned something new today, then feel free to give the video a thumbs up, show your support, subscribe to never miss out on another video game upload on my channel. And with that said, now the way, I believe that's just about it. You guys all take it easy, have a safe one. My name is Zach Cox, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.